Hello guys, welcome to the next video in this strategy series. Okay, in our last video we have completed adding the decision data to the embedded strategy, wherein we have combined the additional information of the credit cards with actual actions based upon a conditions. Right. Now let us continue our discussion. So in this session we were mainly focused on uh, joining the actions with treatments. Like most of you who were seeing the video, you might already know about what is a treatment for an action, correct? Basically, a treatment is nothing but the way of communication in a particular channel. Suppose you have a standard credit card, and this standard credit card can be sent across different channels like mobile channel via push notification, and you can also show it in web channel, and you can send it via email, correct? So if you consider email, it follows a structure like a subject body, right? If you consider an SMS, so it will just have a simple text, and if you consider a push notification, it will have a different structure altogether. So, in order to achieve this, we will create a treatment for a channel. So, a treatment can be associated with an action. All right. Before we actually deep dive into the treatments concept, so now let us focus on setting the request channel. Okay. So first, let me open the data transform which we are using for our testing purposes. Right? Setup customer data. Let us quickly open this setup customer data, wherein you already know about. We have already configured a few customers in this, right? You might have already aware of it. But let us quickly walk through what do we have in this data transform. Okay. In this data transform, we have created a page called customer, and we are updating this page with customer ID, which is received from a parameter. Okay. And based upon the customer ID, we have set annual income for all the 5 customers. Okay. And next, we are also enriching this particular customer with external model scores. And this external model scores is a page list property. So I will come to this part when we are discussing of data import component. And yeah, the first step is all about updating the customer. And now on the primary page, we are setting py channel it to param.channel. So we have added two parameters called channel and direction. And so based upon the channel and direction parameters which we have sent to this data transform, these parameters will be set .py channel with param.channel and py direction to param.direction. And these two attributes will be part of our primary class. And then the external model check. If the customer wants to uh, associate the data of external model scores, then they will send true for this particular parameter called param.external model check. And then the type of external model check is Boolean, and all other three parameters follow the data type as string. Right. Now this is all about this data transform. So now the request is also in the request we are also getting what channel and direction to use, right? Now let us actually set these particular attributes from the primary page to the SR page. Awesome. So how to do that? In order to set any attributes on the SR page, we have to go with a set property component. So now let me open my menu, and I will go to enrichment and set property. Now here I will be writing down my uh, set property, two set properties for py channel and direction. Okay. So py channel is also present, I mean, will be available for us in our SR inheritance, and PY direction will also be available in our SR inheritance. And now we are actually setting these attributes from where? So primary dot channel, correct? So, okay, PY channel. Yeah, we have set this attribute, the same attribute. Yeah, so PY channel. But here we have to mention primary dot. Why we have to mention it as a primary dot? Because we are fetching the data from primary page. So similarly for PY direction, we have to put primary dot PY direction. Okay. Now in this set property, let us put set channel and direction. Okay, awesome. Let us click on submit and save. Now let us pass parameters for customer ID, channel, and direction, and let us verify the results of this set property component. So customer ID would be one, channel would be web, direction would be inbound. Okay, so direction inbound means it's an inbound request. And from which channel this inbound request is coming from? Web channel. Okay, now let us click on save and run. And as you know, the customer ID one will be qualified for both standard card and rewards card. And when I click on the set property, I can see there are two records. The first one is rewards card because it has more business value. And then the second one would be the standard card. Now we are focusing on what? Channel and direction, right? So let us scroll down to find the channel. So channel is web. As you can see, we don't see it as a PY channel. Why? See, when I open the property, it will have property ID and also property label, correct? So what is a property label for the PY channel? It is channel. So that is why we are able to see the label over here. So channel is web and the direction is inbound. So similarly for direction also, the property label is direction. That is why we are able to see the direction over here. Now if I go to the second page and as I can see the channel is web and direction is inbound. Now, why are these properties are really required for us, right? So in the later step in the next video, we are focusing on attaching the treatments, right? So in order to attach the treatments, we basically need what from what direction and from what channel the request is coming from, correct? It is for inbound. And if it is outbound, yeah, so I mean, sometimes the PY direction and PY channel will be empty. Outbound is nothing but we will be reaching out to the customers. So for only the inbound, whenever the request is received, we will receive these two parameters. Whereas for outbound, that will be handled separately. If both PY direction and channel both are empty, then we will consider it as an outbound. But we will just focus on inbound for this use case. I will leave it for you to explore on the outbound, and I will also explain how to explore it. All right, right. So now, let us actually deep dive into and personas and channel context. Okay. Now for this, what I will do is I will open the customer profile viewer and I will load a customer with ID 14. Okay. Right. Now I want to save this customer as a persona. So persona, you can call it as an object with all the static attributes present in it, right? So yeah, I will explain you what do I mean by a persona. So whenever a customer is loaded onto the customer profile viewer, it will actually form a structure, right? Basically, in the backend, it will run customer data flow, and it will associate all the records for the customer. As you can see, the customer is associated with accounts, action insights, contact summary, external model scores, FS click stream, journey stages, and offline product scores. Right. So this is the entire customer object. Now a persona is nothing but a persona will be saved customer object, you can say. So this entire customer object will be converted to a JSON and it will be saved as a data transform in the backend. Okay, this is a snapshot, you can say. Now, see, as you can see here, you can actually delete the accounts for this particular customer. This customer has two accounts. A new account can be added or existing account can be modified or deleted, let us say. That means in the database, if the data is deleted, whenever we come to the CPV and load the customer, then we will get the updated information. But when you convert this customer object as a persona, okay, then the entire object will be stored in the JSON and updates to the database tables will not update the persona. And in real time, we generally use persona testing to basically attach an offer to him. Okay. So, for example, if a customer wants to qualify for a standard card, then he needs a specific set of data in various database tables, right? So we will set all the data in the database tables and we will load the data onto the CPV and we can save that into a new persona and that persona can be used for our further testing, right? Yeah, persona testing is a very deep concept, I can say. We will discuss it later. But why do we really care about this persona now? So, yes, I will come to that point. So now, first of all, we will save this persona. I already saved a persona for the customer 14. So I will say with a different name. So test customer v2 underscore 14 and the description would be the same. And I will let all the default options to be remain as is and I will click on submit, right? A persona has been created now and you can actually verify this persona by going to persona landing page from testing. So from testing, we have a dedicated page called persona management wherein we will be able to manage the personas present inside the system. As you can see, we have persona 14. See, a persona is nothing but it is a data transform, which is created in data decision request customer class maybe. As you can see, setup customer data transform is created by me, right, for my testing purpose in the data decision request customer FC. But I never saved it as a persona. I didn't do that. But it is still visible in my persona management landing page. That means it resembles whatever the persona which we create that resembles a what? Data transform. Now, this is the one which we created. Let us quickly walk through what is present inside a persona. And also, with this name, there will be a data transform which is already created. Let us actually open the data model data transform and let us see the list. Okay. The first one in this list is test customer v2 underscore 14. A data transform has been created. Now let us understand this data transform. See, a persona is nothing but as I told you, it is a JSON which will be stored in a persona. You can call it as persona is an instance which actually stores the JSON, right? So this is how a persona actually looks like. And we have actually created a persona from the CPV. That is why we are, that is why all the data has been, as you can see in the left side, we have entities. We have customer as an entity, and for this customer, we have accounts, contact summary, FS clickstream, offline product scores. And if I expand accounts, it has two accounts. If I expand account, if I click on account one, it will display the details present in account one in the right panel. Now, how this entire data is stored? It is stored in a JSON. So let us quickly view that how that JSON is actually stored. Now I will go to the CPV landing page, and here instead of customer ID, I will select persona, and I will paste it. So this is the persona which we are having. And here we have a question mark icon. When you click on this question mark icon, it actually shows the entire JSON which is created when we created a persona from customer 14. So as you can see, it has all the attributes. The top class will be data decision request customer CDH, under which we have customer. And under customer, we will have accounts, and under accounts, we will have contact summary. There are two accounts, and this is a contact summary for customer, and this is FS clickstream data. These are associated data for the customer. As you can see, when I load the customer during that particular point of time and saved as a persona, the data present at that moment will be converted to a JSON and will be stored as a persona. How beautiful it is, right? So now, if I go back to the persona data transform, this is very simple data transform. It basically param dot output JSON is equal to adopt persona JSON tools comma test customer v214. So the JSON object created for this particular ID or persona ID, that will be adopted onto the clipboard. Okay. So as you know, our entire JSON's class is what data decision request customer CDH. The top object of the JSON follows this data decision request customer CDH class, and my data transform is also on the same class. Now, when I adopt this persona JSON, the entire JSON object will be applied onto the clipboard. Okay, yeah. Now, and the next one is the next important thing is we have something called as channel context. Now, what is a channel context? Now, let me select customer ID 14 again. Yeah, we can also test it with persona 14, that is fine. But let me prefer this customer ID 14. Now, for this customer, we want to test inbound web channel, what offer he is actually receiving. So I will select direction as inbound and channel as web. And if it is inbound web, then we also need a real-time container to test it, right? A real-time container, I will be selecting credit cards and I will click on make decision. Now in backend, it will run this real-time container, right? And this real-time container execution will produce the results. Backend, it will run trigger and be a top-level strategy. And the results produced by that trigger and be a top-level strategy will be displayed in this results section. It will take some time to load. Now let us discuss about the channel context. See, the first field over here says channel context. See, every time you come here, you want to select all these fields, right? Suppose if we create a channel context, when we select this channel context, and it will update all these attributes, then that will be a great. I mean, it will be one of the easiest option to select rather than selecting for each and every testing. So it will be one of the easiest methods. That is why a channel context has been introduced with Pepega. And the channel context is also kind of a trigger. I mean, the request in the request, it describes about in which channel and which direction the request is actually coming from, right? As you can see, this customer is qualified for standard card and rewards card. Basically, these two results are coming from a different strategy than the one which we created, because this is CPV, which will run top level strategy, which is associated with this real time container, right? So that is going to be executed. So now, since we have selected all these options, as you can see, there is a three dots icon or hamburger icon. I will click on this and I will click save as new channel context. Okay. The direction is inbound, channel is web, the real-time container is credit cards. You can also pass the context as well. Context in the sense the real-time in the real-time container we generally have context. This is mainly used for context waiting. And then the channel context name. Okay. So there is a channel context name. I will provide an easy name, inbound web credit cards. So this is the name which I want to provide. And in the description, you can provide the description. Since it is optional, I'm leaving it as is. Now this is the channel context name and I will click on submit. Now a channel context has been created. If I go to persona management again, there will be two tabs over here, persona and the channel context. So this is the one which we have created, inbound web credit cards, right? So now, why is this important? So yeah, the channel context is nothing but it's a combination of the channel direction, real-time container, if it is an inbound channel, and also the context. If it is an outbound channel, yeah, it will simply have outbound as a value. Yeah, we can also create a new channel context from here. So here I'm going to click on new channel context. In the direction, I will be selecting outbound. Okay. When you select outbound, then it is not asking any channel. So what is meant by outbound? So Pega is running a schedule in the backend to actually figure out what offers we can send to the customer in any channel. But whereas inbound, the request can come from any channel, right? If the customer is interacting with mobile application, then the should come from a mobile app. If he is interacting with a web, then the request should come from web, right? If he actually talking with an CRM, company CRM, then the request should come from the CRM system, correct? Whereas outbound, the Pega voluntarily will be running its own schedule to send appropriate offer for a particular customer in a particular channel. That is why when I actually create a channel context for outbound, you cannot actually see uh, the channel over here. But I can see issue and group. Here I can select appropriate issue and group so that appropriate trigger strategy will be executed. So I will leave all issues and all groups as is. That means it will be using trigger and be a top level strategy to execute. Now in the channel context name, uh, I will write down outbound context. That's it. And then I will click on submit. So this is how you can create a channel context. Now let us go back to Pega Dev Studio and understand if see this data transform will also accept channel context. When we pass channel context, right, it will apply the channel context. Okay, that means the channel context is also an object in the backend. It will find out the channel context with this parameter and it will load onto the container payload. So in the decision request, we will have another attribute or page called container payload. And on this container payload, all the request parameters will be loaded, right? Now, when the container payload or direction is equal to outbound, that means if we have selected uh, the outbound channel context, then they are also loading PY issue, I mean, in which, see, this PY issue will be set in my data decision request customer class. So PY issue group and issue name and group name. Okay, so these four things they are actually setting for a purpose that that we don't know currently, but that is fine. We are just understanding this data transform. Now in the step four, if the container payload exists, right? So then they are copying container payload to context, right? Okay, maybe let us see it later because I did not got a chance to look at this, but let us focus on what is required for now. So now we have created this data transform. Now we are going to use this data transform for our testing purpose. Instead of having this setup customer data, I will be using this new data transform. Okay, test customer v2 underscore 14. As you can see, it is asking two parameters. Skip extension data transform. Second one is channel context. Let us not focus on this one. Let us focus on the channel context. So in the channel context, I will provide the one which we have created for inbound. So inbound web credit cards. All right. And then I will click on save and run. Okay. Now in this set property, if I go and see, the channel will be empty because this is not setting the py channel and py direction on the primary page. It is setting the values from where? It is setting the values from container payload. Let us actually quickly open the clipboard and let us see how the clipboard has been formed uh, for this particular persona. So it will create a temporary page, as you can see here, temp data decision request customer CDH. By the way, I'm present in the strategy thread itself. If I scroll down here, you can see we have two pages. One is customer. This is loaded from customer persona. The container payload is actually loaded from the channel context. So in the container payload, I can see the channel, container name, direction, placements, and PX obj class, right? Now, under the container payload, we have the context. Yeah. So now let me go back to that point. See, if the container payload exists, if the page exists, then we are loading the context onto another page inside the container payload called context. So that is why we have that particular step. Now, what is context? The context is a page list which will be in the real-time container request mainly used to define the context for context waiting, right? Yeah, we will have a dedicated session for context in the coming future. But the see whatever the context which we provided as part of the channel context, those will be loaded in a page list under this context. All right. Now as you can see, the persona data transform is setting attributes on container payload. We have to utilize them, correct? How to do that? Very simple, right? If the primary.py channel is empty, then we have to get the data from primary dot container payload dot channel, right? That is one way of doing. But in order to show an embedded, in order to show the component reference, I will be doing it in a separate way, different way. So first, in order to do that, I will have an enrichment set property component over here. And with this set property component, I will load py channel is equal to primary dot container payload dot channel. Okay. And I'm going to set the py direction as well. So py direction is equal to, so primary dot container payload dot direction. Okay, awesome. So get container payload properties. All right. So now I will click on submit, and then now what we will do is we will get the attributes from this set property to this set property. So far we have seen a dotted, solid line between the components. Now we are going to see the dotted line. I can reference the properties from component A to component B. So how to do that? So first, let us open this set property and copy the component ID. Now let us go to the first set property over here. And in the py channel, I will write down my expression as if primary.py channel is empty, if it is empty, then I'm going to take the py channel from this component, right? Otherwise, if it is not empty, I'm going to take it from primary.py channel. Okay. And I will do the same thing for direction as well. So if the direction is empty, okay, then I will be returning uh, get container payload properties. This is my component name dot py direction. And if it is not empty, then we will be utilizing primary dot py direction. Okay. Now, when you click on submit, you can see there is a dotted line has been appeared over here. Correct. So this dotted line basically says there has been a reference. Okay. So this component is actually referencing the properties from this particular component. So this is called as a component referencing, and this is very powerful. Okay. This is very powerful, as in this is very powerful for use cases. So now I will click on save and run for this particular data transform test customer V214, and we will see the results in this set property now. You can see clearly channel is equal to web and direction is equal to inbound, right? So it worked magically. Even though my primary page doesn't have py channel and py direction, I'm able to copy them. And again, it can be done in various ways. It can be done only in the set property, but in order to tell you about how we can reference from other components, I have shown you this use case. Now, like during our set property component discussion, we have seen something related to running the set property component as standalone, right? So this is the one. As you can see, the set property is a standalone component which alone has a single page. Every component emits pages of SR classes, correct? And this set property has also emitted a page, right? In this page, everything is empty except a few fields like direction, channel, right? And other few out of the box properties we are having. Awesome. So, uh, and this is how we can actually use a standalone set property to do any calculations and refer those calculations in our primary path. Okay, you can, I mean, it is not like you should only refer a set property inside a set property. You can also refer this in any filter, in any group by component. You can do that in any component of your choice. Okay, I mean, whatever the supported components, you can use it as a reference. You can actually refer the components in a switch, in a filter, in the set property, right? Yeah. So now, yeah, this is all about this video. In the upcoming video, we are going to discuss about joining the treatments based upon the channel and direction. And we will be going to learn more components now. We are going to learn about data join, switch component, external strategy component, etc. Yeah. Now, before we actually wrap up this session, let us quickly click on this filter component and let us quickly scroll down. So you can see here the subject ID is empty over here, correct? But when you click on this filter, the subject ID is changed to 14. Did we set the subject ID? No. But how did the subject ID has been set? That Pega will be taken care when we actually add a context strategy. So when you open the properties of this and go to the dictionary, as you can see property for subject ID, there is a field. Here we have mentioned dot customer ID. So that means in the customer page, in the dot customer page, we'll have a customer ID that will be taken care for my subject ID. Okay. Um, as you can see, the subject ID is set to 14 only inside the filter, but not it is not actually present outside this embedded strategy. Yeah. So yeah. So I'm done for this video. See you in the next video, guys. Until then, keep learning.